Hi, this is Wilfredo Hernandez, Arts and Culture Group Leader here at Brooklyn Community Pride Center.
Jackie Yodashkin with Immigration Equality.
And today is our fourth interview for the LGBTQ New Americans Oral History Project.
And we're here with
Marvin Drummond, and I'm at the Brooklyn Center for LGBT.
Brooklyn Community Pride Center.
Yeah.
Same thing.
all good. And it is May 23rd.
2016.
So, Marvin, where did you grow up?
So I grew up in a rural town in Jamaica called Hanover. It's in Jamaica. It has like 14 parishes. So I was on the western side. So that's where I basically grew up for 23 years.
What was it like growing up there?
It was different. It was a different culture. It was a different background in terms of what's accepted, what's not, how to act, and like everything was like different in terms of the buildings. Some part were like poverty. Some parts were more advanced. So it was different. Yeah.
Yeah. What was your favorite thing to do when you were a kid?
My favorite thing to do when I was a kid was to dance and play with dolls.
And how did that go over in Jamaica?
It's being in a country where a gay and homosexual lifestyle is not accepted. It was very difficult growing up, so there were some challenges. You had to hide who you were as a person. You had to hide your sexuality and stuff. If you're a dancer, you're considered gay. If you wear your pants too tight, you're considered gay. If you act too flamboyant or effeminate, then you're also considered gay. So most of that was difficult growing up, and I had to hide like most of what gave me joy and comfort, and it was very challenging for me growing up as a child and adolescent, and yeah. Family didn't accept it, peers didn't accept it, so it was very difficult for me.
So you talk about a passion for dance from a young age. Can you talk a little bit about that and maybe one of your first memories of you discovering that passion?
So I started dancing when I was about 7 years old, or maybe 6. Who knows? Maybe when I was in my mommy's tummy, maybe. But my family, they're very Christian-like, so I grew up and started dancing in church. So I used to do a lot of spiritual dancing. And then after that, I started in school. I went to the primary school, and they had like a performing arts group. They had like a festival where every year you would compete in the in the categories of dance, music, theater, drama, and song. So I joined them, and then I started to dance, and that's where I discovered that this made me happy, and it was something that I wanted to do. It was something that I could help to take away the pain and stuff. So each time like I was down or sad, I would dance, and it would make me happier. So yeah, I started then, and ever since it's become a goal for me to dance, to express myself, to tell a story to the world using dance, so yeah.
And when did you come to the U.S. for the first time?
I came to the U.S. in 2014, July 8, 2014. I came on a scholarship, and I also did a competition representing Jamaica in the World Championships of the Performing Arts in the categories of jazz and modern. And when I did that competition, I won for my division, and I got a scholarship for Millennium in Hollywood, and I was there for a couple months, and then I had a friend back in Rochester, New York, who had a company who works with Garth Fagan, who is a choreographer for The Lion King, and I went to his, I did an audition for his company by tape, and when I was in LA, I think it was a great opportunity for me to go there and just do the in-person audition. So they booked me my ticket, and I went to Rochester, and I started with his company, and that's when everything developed. And it was amazing, yeah.
What was the most notable difference between living in the US and living in Jamaica?
What I came to realize and why I wanted to stay, because I came on a one-entry visa, I realized that being in the US, it was totally different from the experiences and the people, and like everything was different. Like I see gay people walking and I see people holding hands, and it was different. People could express themselves. People were comfortable in their own skin, and they don't care what other people think or what other people would say. And I felt a difference in environment, meaning that it was more open than Jamaica. Because being in Jamaica, you have to be closeted. If you were open or holding hands walking down the streets, you would be stoned to death, chopped, stabbed, run over by a car, things like that. So it was really different, and I realized that it was more open here, and I felt so much more comfortable and better, and I didn't fear anything. I just could be who I want to be without, being shamed or being stoned or, yeah. So it was definitely different for me.
Were you afraid of anything or uncomfortable when you first came here? When you first visit?
When I first visit, I still had that mentality that, okay, I cannot do this, or I have to be careful of how I dress. I still had all of that in my head because I was still scared and feared for my life when I came here. But when I realized that it was accepted and it was legal to, be gay, and there was no laws that says, okay, you can't be gay, or if you're seen with a guy doing this, then you'll be stoned or whatever. So it was very different. And when I saw, all the other persons, how they acted and how they could be themselves, then I realized that, I can finally be myself, and I grew to get opened up and, become even more comfortable in my own skin.
Has it changed how you dance?
It has not changed how I dance, because dance for me, it's a passion. It's life itself. There's no changing how a person dance. So when I dance, I just go full out. I use it to help me as a person. When I was in Jamaican dancing, I usually not get a lot of like applaud or, a person saying, oh, you great job, but I still did it how I do it today, so, yeah.
Do you miss,
I'm sorry.
is there something else you want to say?
No.
Do you ever miss anything about Jamaica?
The only thing I miss in Jamaica is my mom. She was the only one there for me growing up. She was a single mom. And being here and she's there, sometimes it's like it reflects back to me, and I'm getting emotional, I'm sorry. But she's the only thing I miss. I had a hard life as a child, and it wasn't the easiest because I had to battle through school, and being that I was, gay, it was not accepted by my family, so it was very difficult for me. So the only person I miss right now is my mom. Nothing else.
So Marvin, you identify as gay?
Back when I was a child, I could remember events because I was very effeminate, and I wasn't accepted by my peers or so. Like, they would play over there and I would be here. The boys would be playing footballs, I would play with the girls. So it was very difficult for me. People would call me gay. They would say gay gestures or do gay, how can I put it, gay slurs. So I was identified as that because I was with the girl and not the boys. And then I was effeminate, so it was very difficult. The families called me gay, so once it started in the family, once they're not supportive of you, then it's going to be difficult when you go outside because you don't have any backup. So, like, I was considered gay all throughout. So I usually do stuff to try to be, try to fit in with the other boys. So I usually go to the gym, try to build more muscles because I wasn't muscular. So I did all of that just to hide that. But even though I did that, I still was considered gay because of how I look, how I dress. So it was very difficult.
So now that you're living in Brooklyn, do you keep any part of Jamaican culture with you?
I still keep a lot with me. I still make my Jamaican dishes, my Jamaican cuisine, because my mom taught me how to cook, clean. So I still have that with me. I still cook, so I don't go out and buy food or eat out most of the times. I still keep that culture with me. The music, I still am attached to. But other than that, yeah, those are just the things that I keep that are more culturalized. Dancing, cooking.
What's your favorite thing to cook? Your favorite
My
dish?
favorite dish to cook would be curry chicken and rice and peas.
You can make that for us anytime. And so, how did you find immigration equality?
I found immigration equality in November 2014. I was upstate in Rochester and I came to New York City to see a friend. And that friend was granted asylum, and he was telling me about it because I was on a one entry, basically, and I didn't want to go back because I finally realized that I could be myself here and it was more comfortable. And that friend introduced me to immigration equality. He gave me the number, the email. I called them up in November, and I spoke to one of the representatives there, and they called me in for an interview. They took my story, and then it began from there.
That's great. And so, what is your status now?
My status now, I just got my green card, so I'm a permanent resident. Got my green card last month, so it's like a stepping stone for me, and I'm super excited.
Yeah, what does it feel like to have it?
Oh my God. There's no words to describe how it feels to finally become a permanent resident in the US. It's something that I've always dreamt of. It's something that I've always wanted to. I've always said to myself, you know what, I want to leave Jamaica. I want to do something for myself. I want to, dance. And I always have a paper in the bathroom that have my goals and dreams. And this was one of it. And like right now, everything feels so surreal. Like it feels like I'm still dreaming. So sometimes I look back and I'm like, I was here in 2014, now it's 2016, and I'm a permanent resident. So everything was like, am I really dreaming? Because I do a lot of praying. So most of the times I like talk with God and stuff. And this was one of the things I asked him for. And everything has just been amazing since. It has been just so surreal. And I'm super excited for what to come to.
What specifically brought you to Brooklyn?
I have friends in Brooklyn, so I was staying with friends when when I left Rochester and came to New York. I was staying with friends. Things didn't work out, and then after that, I tried to look for a place on my own, but that was difficult too because I didn't have papers at the time. So then another friend who I met helped me out, and that's how everything began. And then I kind of like Brooklyn a lot. It's really nice.
What do you like the most about it?
In Brooklyn, there is a lot of like multiculture. There is Spanish, there is Haitians. It reminds me not of Jamaica, but most likely, how can I put it? It reminds me of like a nation where everybody is together, but at the same time, there is different types of cultures. So that is really amazing because I see Asians, I see people from the Caribbean, Jamaicans as well, and it's just a different culture. So it's different and it's good. Different is good.
What are some of your favorite places to visit in Brooklyn or New York City? Favorite sites or special places you go?
I love the Statue of Liberty. And for Brooklyn, I love Brooklyn Bridge. So most of the times I would ride my bike on the bridge. I would go to the park. I love the museum, the Transit Museum. Those are some of the places I've been since. But since I started working, it was difficult to like branch out. But I love riding on the Brooklyn Bridge.
What do you do for work?
Currently, I'm a dance specialist at a middle school. I teach dance to K2 kids to 8th graders, and that I do for part-time. And currently, I'm taking classes at Alvin Ailey, so I try to take some classes myself and get ready for some auditions.
What is it like teaching little kids to dance?
It's amazing. I mean, when I was a child, there was no one to really, give me formal training or tell me how to do a plie or how to do a jeté or how to do a certain steps, because in Jamaica, again, it was not really the thing for a male to be dancing in tights or a male to be dancing in ballet. So for me, like teaching the kids what I've learned and what I've taught myself is like really, really awesome, because I get to help them become better persons, better dancers, and to let them know that, you can always be comfortable as a dancer, whether you're male, whether you're female. You just have to be yourself and own the stage and just have fun with it. Yeah. So it's been great with the kids. I love kids. I want kids someday, for sure. But it's really good. I love it.
As a dance artist, what's your favorite genre or form of dance that you like to perform and that you also maybe like to teach or share with your students?
I like modern contemporary as a genre, because it's more open. With modern contemporary, you can add ballet, you can add jazz in it, you can add whatever you want, and just make it, because it's modern, so you can just make it what you want. With dances like ballet, it's very strict. It has to be a certain way. The arms have to be a certain way. But with modern contemporary, you can mix it up. You can be different. You can put hip hop with salsa. You can mix jazz with a little ballet in it. So I prefer modern contemporary as a genre to teach and to dance.
So what is your community like now that you're here and you're living in Brooklyn? Do you have some friends here?
I don't really have a lot of friends because of my prior experiences, but I do have people I associate myself with. The community for me has been, I meet a lot of persons when I go out sometimes, and most of them tend to be gay, which is my thing. So it's been amazing since I've met some really nice people who have given me some great advice on living, working conditions. So the community for me has been very supportive as well. The gay community for me has been supportive, and it's been an amazing journey.
Are there any specific organizations or nonprofits aside from immigration equality that you found to be helpful in your transition to the U.S. and as an out gay man?
The biggest support I got was from immigration equality with my legal status and health issues. Also, what was helpful when I was granted asylum was Catholic Charities. They did an amazing job in finding me jobs and giving me stipend for monthly food and to take care of myself. Also, that was helpful, and Housing Works was also helpful to me by helping me with mental health. So those three organizations were so amazing and helpful, and yeah, it was good.
What was it like when you got asylum status?
That was like the beginning of what the future holds for me. It was very quick because the persons that I worked with wanted me to make sure that I was in the right conditions and make sure that everything was going smooth for me. So it was difficult. It was nerve-wracking, but at the same time there was this exciting feeling that I finally have a start to becoming a citizen of the United States, which is something that I've always wanted to become and do. So it was just an amazing feeling. I was happy. I was excited. Yeah.
Throughout this process, we've heard, I think, continuously that immigration issues are complex issues, multi-layered experiences. How old were you again when you came here the first time?
I was 23 when I got to the U.S.
So you've gone through this whole experience as a relatively young adult.
Yeah.
So how did you find the strength to continue pushing, and what inspired you? Where did you find that support?
So what I can say is that when I was in Jamaica, like, I had suicidal thoughts. I had thoughts of killing myself because I didn't feel like I owned a purpose in life. I felt like I didn't want to exist at all because of the experiences I had with my family, so I felt that, there was just no need to be alive. So I usually would try stuff to kill myself. But then when I got baptized in 2014, was it 2014? No, 2008. I got baptized in church in 2008, and I started to, talk to God, and I still had that feeling that I served no purpose at all. But then, I don't know, something changed. One night I was laying down in bed and I just cried myself to sleep, and I was like, God, help me. I was like, God, I need you right now. I can't do this anymore. I feel like I just, want to kill myself, but I need you now. And when I wake up that morning, I felt a change. My energy changed. The whole idea of committing suicide changed. And then it's like somebody talked to me and said, you're going to make it. You're going to get through. And I remained focused. And with that, I said to myself, you know what? You're not going to give up. You're going to make it. And whatever you do, you're going to be happy. And you're going to show them that, whatever they say in the past, that, oh, you're never going to make it. You're going to just be this kind of person. And I said to myself, they're wrong. I'm right. And I picked myself up. I tried to fight all the way through. It was difficult. It was like a climbing the ladder. So each step I took, I realized that it was getting much better, and that, whatever I wanted, I can get it done. So with that said, I just kept faith, and I kept focused, and I knew what I wanted, and I just went for it, and it happened.
Thank you. Yeah, you've mentioned faith and your spirituality a couple times throughout the course of the interview, and I think given some of the politics surrounding LGBTQ rights today, in the US included and around the world, religion still does play a huge part in the conversation, right? Culturally, legislatively, politically. So I think it's very interesting that it's played an essential part in your identity.
It has always been a part of me, and it still is a part of me, because for me, I believe in God, and once you know what you want, once you keep that faith and remain the person that you are in your own skin and realize that you have a purpose no matter what people say and just be yourself, then nothing can stop that. So that's what I've always done, and it's been amazing since, and I'm still going to remain like that.
So what does citizenship mean to you?
Wow. Citizenship means, what word can I find to describe that? Citizen means so much to me. It means that I finally become an American. I'm American, and I don't have to worry about, being in Jamaica or being, stoned or being called names or slurs. So it means that it's another step, an opportunity for me to become a better person, to get a better education, to become the person I've always wanted to be. And that for me means the whole world. So I'm super excited.
What do you want, what do you want people to know about LGBTQ immigrants?
I want them to know that it's not easy. It's not easy for us when, you're treated a certain way, when you're being called names, when you just can't be yourself. So it's really difficult for us as immigrants because we want to get away from that. We want to become better persons. We want to be ourselves. And it's not an easy task because all of us have a story, and it's not always a happy story because there's always things that we have to go through every day. And it's a difficult for us as immigrants because we want to better ourselves, but where we are or where we were, it was difficult. So now that we have branched off and becoming better persons, it's amazing.
What do you want people to know about you?
What I want people to know about me is that I love life. It doesn't matter where you're from or what situation you were in. Just forget about that, start a new life. Think of a better place now that you are, becoming a permanent resident or whether you're becoming a citizen for the US. It's a start to happiness. So for me, I've been the happiest person since. I look back and I cry most of the times, not because I miss it but because I look back at the journey from where I was and where I am now, and that makes me so happy. So I'm really thankful. I am very humble. And right now I just love life, and I'm going for all my goals, and that's something that I've always wanted.
Marvin, is there anything else that you would like to add to the record of this interview?
If you ask me something, I'm sorry.
It's okay.
I don't know what to say.
It's okay, you did great. You're gonna do some dance for us, right?
I am.
Cool. Well,
Thank you for sharing your story and being honest and open with us.
It was a pleasure. I'm super excited, and I'm thankful that you guys did this interview. I just want to get this story out there to people who are struggling and to people who have fears and wants to change that. It can happen once you be focused, once you have faith, and just stay humble and stay true to yourself and just continue to be who you are. Then nothing can stop you. Just go for it. Be a goal-getter. It can happen. It happened for me.
thank you so much.
Thank you.